off. And yeah, Lance is up for grabs, so I'd go for Lance if I were TLID.
Yeah.
And then I'd go for just a tanky boy in Rome.
How tanky, Mirko?
That's why you got the high-lows.
Ooh, snatch the Hilda away. I don't think it's that good.
You want something with sustain?
Oh.
A Hayabusa.
Huh. So what? They just go for mid-prio with Cho? It is a witty pick.
I feel that they kind of lack frontliners if they go for that option.
Yeah.
But who's left?
That's a good
Like, Grok
question.
isn't meta, right?
Power of Pegasus!
Padang. Yeah, right. The choice that we thought DEWA were going to go for, but they wanted to wait all the way to the end, so...
What is it?
It
Show us.
Now it should just be the Hilda, really. I don't think the Uranus is good, because it's a farce. There's a lot of burst. Terizla, maybe?
Esmeralda?
I think Terizla might be the best choice here. You just dive into Farsa Granger, penalty zone, and then the god that follows up if they flicker.
Can work. We haven't seen it in a long time.
Edith? Is Edith an option?
I would go Terizla over Edith. Right? Yeah.
I think so. Just AoE, because the fights have
Bigger engage compared to Edith. Edith
True.
for Shatter, you can't get two. Terizla, you can. Terizla is also pretty good against Phoveus in lane.
The end of one thing.
Esmeralda.
The beginning of another.
I was thinking, it really duels well with the Phoveus. Kind of takes some... Is there any shielding for...
For our final game of the day.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Will it be DEWA or TLID? The pressure of being Indonesia's representative in the national team. Oh, there you go. Aran already winning out in the lane against Kin.
Well, it's a lot of damage. Level 1. You would think Esmeralda would have a bit of an advantage, but I think Esmeralda will do better level 2, if anything.
Yes.
You need the combo from skill 1 and 2. So around here, whoa.
Oh, this could be a kill. Witty will jump in. Kin has Flicker, and it will be burnt out. So a win for TLID early.
Yeah, going to be able to burn out that resource. But you can see that Kin is quite confident, right, with the way that he's been maneuvering around. Emblem check as well. This time, Jushin, I think very standard, right? Tenacity, movement speed as well.
But around the concussive blast, that's a bit surprising to me. More wave clear, more short trades. I guess if you're really not willing to trade for long durations, then it will be fine to just kind of alleviate the wave clear. Definitely the less popular option though on the Phoveus so far. Aside from that, I guess Ray is just gonna go aggressive here, trying to get some more kills on a killing spree.
All right, spell check as well. We have the Purify on Maybe, Kabuki, Flicker. So there is a world where the opportunities for DEWA are a lot larger as compared to TLID with the Flicker choiceage from TLID, but things are quite passive at this point, right? I think game number 2, we already saw early action. I think DEWA are looking to find that opportunity, but hasn't exactly found it just yet.
That's pretty good. Yeah, a steal on the XP Crabarashi. So he's going to get level 4 quick. Aran should follow next with the Yeskiel steal there. Yeah, he gets it just in time. Mueza though, still 3. Octa gets 4 the normal way. Mueza trying to zone again. That's going to be Lantern Flare. Oh, Joe forced to use it. Oh, what a set by Witty! Joe even wins out Directory. An all-out win with first blood over to Aran. Now with the Phoveus Infernal pursue the Dark Wave landing on Ray. Forcing it back, Flicker forward by Aran! Diving deep, finding the kill. Maybe gets a trade. But it's a win for the Cavalry.
Absolutely, right? That 1v1 trade-in for Ray is definitely worth it for the Aran trade as well. So things are looking up for TLID at this point. But yeah, Yeskiel gets brought back. Still going to be able to get out with the wings by wings. So he's A-okay for now.
Man, the fact that that was a full-on all-in engage really favored Team Liquid ID there. It seemed kind of alright for DEWA in the beginning, but once the Feather Airstrike starts going down, that's where I think they themselves knew, like, oh dang, this is a bit too much than we can handle. Joe, whoa!
There you go, that's a shadow kill over to Octa. They're splitting it up, it might be a double! Ray, 2-time for the 2-time, respawns back in, and Joe is ready to eat him up.
Man, his performance on the Fanny and now his performance as well on the Hayabusa, it's looking quite clean. 1-0-1 so far. We're looking at maybe if he's going to be able to get a little bit more trades, maybe on the side lanes too. But 1,000 gold lead for TL in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Doing really good this time, and they're not really allowing DEWA to go and execute their game plan. And look at the mid pressure too. The fact that there's so much hill pressure now means that Yehezkiel can actually clear without being interrupted for too long, and that allows him to be a lot more active, even assisting with the invades earlier. And in turn, Joe has information on where the opposition team is, so he can kind of orchestrate where he wants to path to and go for some of those early kills.
And that's maybe why he has a level above of Ray up until this point. So neutral objective is going to spawn really, really soon. Looks like Joe will have an XP advantage, but that's a rotation coming in from DEWA.
Yeah, Aran caught against 3 members, lifted up, and should be... Oh! It's a bit more shielding as he jumps back in. That's the AOG, locking him down with the taunt as well, though. Kin capitalizing on this, baby! Gets a solo kill up top as Yehezkiel falls. Witty thrown back under turret. All of a sudden, DEWA with a win around the map.
Wow, they traded that. They turned that around really well. Mueza's AOG was that opening opportunity for DEWA to pick those 3 members up, and then they're able to contribute it to the next neutral objective, which is the turtle. So all in all, the timings were perfect for DEWA.
It's interesting that DEWA went for a straightforward gank before turtle play, and Team Liquid ID just did not respond properly. They even tried to kind of salvage the situation, but that got Yehezkiel picked up instead.
Yeah.
So they got to kind of iron out how they want to set up properly, because if you allow DEWA to get the setup here, they have been using it very, very well. And Team Liquid ID wants to be the one in position to zone DEWA United out with the chance of going for a full-on all-in with the Feather Airstrike.
Absolutely. So the fact that they were able to take Yehezkiel out early was so much value. Joe?
Shadow kill ready. Oh, another solo for Joe. Dude, Kin flicker forward. Joe, no quad shadow. The AOG won't land, but Lancer Flare will bring him back into the taunt, and it will be the kill on Kin. Now it's Witty, pinning him down with a fist trap. But there's Whoa, what a combo with the Dark Wave! Now it's Kin still dancing around. Mueza's low, but he's able to escape. Yes, Yehezkiel flies around. Dark Wave landing, the pin down now in the stun. No outplay for Kin, not now.
He's so sticky, but luckily enough with Witty and Yehezkiel being able to pin him down in place, denying more regen coming in from Kin, they're going to be able to take him down. So it's a little bit of a similar story to what we saw earlier that was created by DEWA, but this time it was TLID that is able to kind of turn the page in their favor. But very unfortunate that Joe had to be taken down there. Now 2-1-1.
It also shows again that in the skirmish, I don't think it's really possible to go up against Team Liquid ID unless it's a full-on 5v5, because that chain of crowd control, the bulk of it was AoE, by the way. So the stun from Yehezkiel, the knockout from Aran, right? The crack from Witty as well, all of them can land on multiple people. So if it's also only a 2v2, 3v3, Team Liquid ID are so much more dangerous.
This is free. Falling Star Moon lands on 3 though. Aran still able to go for the Dark Wave. The Shadow Kill comes around as well. Onto Kin. Burst it down very low. Yehezkiel gets it for the airstrike to come down. Now Maybe pops it in. Mueza's able to sustain his Witty. Flickers to the midst of the Saman Force to get the rest of the team enough space to escape. Mueza with the taunt. Joel. Gets red out in the bush. Has the quad shadow and gets away just barely.
1-for-1 trade there, but the turret falls in favor of DEWA. Kabuki's going to be able to trade it down as well in the bottom side of the map, so it's not as bad for TL.
Oh, it's not just any turret though, it's the mid turret, and Yehezkiel is in a dangerous spot.
Mountain Shocker, Yehezkiel. Oh, Octa dodging away from the pin with the quad. Joel, Retry in, Shadow Kill. Is it going to be dispersed among them? Ray gets away. Joel. Already used the quad shadow. Kin flickers forward, goes in for the damage. A pin down on the peel already, but Joel gets the conceal. Still not enough as Octa puts the lantern on him. Now Witty knocked up. Mueza gets the kill. 3-man Dark Wave, but Aran can't do much with it.
Massive skirmishes here, and DEWA are just getting full value from it. The fact that they can chase so far down is so good. They've identified that Joe is the one making these plays, going for these solo kills, and they've been in position to punish him every single time. The moment he goes for a quad shadow play, some punishment is always in order for him when he goes back.
It's been messy, right, for TLID, and I think that's something of a point that you mentioned. In a pure 5v5, the setup is proper, the setup is correct, it will favor TLID, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, because Joe has been looking for these solo picks, DEWA have been able to figure out and find opportunities to pick off TLID one by one. And eventually, it causes DEWA to find more opportunities on the map, look for more openings on the map, because of the way that their composition has been set.
There's right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Octa, lethal ignition. He's regen. Okay. I thought with the glowing one and lethal ignition, he was dead, but
he had a crimson beacon.
Yeah, it had a regen too. Luckily, without the regen, I think he would have been dead.
He's not in the fight any longer though. Whoa.
Yeah, that's why they go for it. Kin gonna be taken down by the Infernal Pursuit as Kabuki does a lot of damage. Still Witty, able to go for the fist crack now. Flickers back to safety. Aran still in the midst of it all. Jumping in the Infernal Pursuit will get taken low. And now the cleanup from Joe gets the shadow kill in. Quad Shadow's back. Witty in the bush. Feather airstrike in a really tough position. That's a flicker out. Yes, skill thrown back. It's a killing spree for Octa. Joe picks up the turn, or the Lord rather, now as he gets the Quad Shadow and shuts Octa down.
Beautiful team fight from Team Liquid ID, man. Kiting in and out of the danger zone and still getting the Lord there. The fact that the Heskiel, I think, had 2 feather airstrikes there really kind of helped them out. Initially, they were getting some momentum, but they really lost multiple members, and the team with the more invulnerabilities and more burst damage can make the first play, the first move, a lot easier, a lot more reliably, and that's what Team Liquid ID did, is get the burst damage down and get out.
Yeah, it was already set up to their favor as well, right? With Octa having to recall because he was caught really low. That allowed TLID to look for that opportunity and be like, hey, okay, we have a man advantage, and this is kind of the way that our composition works, right? Our team fight is strong, our setup is proper, and that's how TLID gets the advantage. They have the Lord that is still marching in favor of them there in the bottom side. Maybe is going to be able to take control over it. I think TLID are looking for some other structures on the board, but unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get it, except for the structure in the top side of the map.
The color in the mid lane might also fall soon here. They did a great job mitigating the damage, doing damage control. See if they can actually find something else, like a trade back almost. The feather airstrike to try and zone DEWA away, but they will hang on to that final turret there. Small win, small victory. But all the map is opened up for surprise plays from Team Liquid ID. And already, even before the turrets fell, TLID are the ones with the assassinations from Joe, from Yeheskel as well.
Here's the thing though, maybe he's at 203. He's always the spearhead to DEWA, and Holy Crystal has been bought out. There is an opportunity, right, for DEWA to look for a comeback?
Yeah, I think that there's a real case, but from the looks of it, it's just so volatile. They have to try and go for the right engage here, and maybe Kin has to kind of like hold back a little bit because he, again, isn't a full-on tank. He can't be the first person in because he gets nuked down before he can actually get the shields going, right? That happened in the previous fight.
Yeah. It will get really difficult. DEWA certainly have that comeback potential. They have a really good late game, but it really comes down to how they deal with TLID's layering. TLID have a lot of bursts, so DEWA want to try to play around that and try to look for like the longer fights, but the layering is so good from them. The way they utilize the feather airstrike into how Joe comes in late, they will lose like Aran sometimes and Witty in the fight early, but they'll be able to make up for it with the cleanup from Joe.
It'll be cool if DEWA can actually get a pick up onto Aran and then maybe back away. Kin! Oh!
Good reaction. Kin unable to make the play this time around with... Oh, wait! Johnson doesn't get the pin though. Joe pops in the shadow kill and Kabuki with the cleanup. The executor again. That's another 2-4-0. Dude.
Again, opportunities like that. The Weedy, the Wise, 2-0 down. It looks like Joe is going to be on the Lord, and the rest of the members can just look for this opportunity to use this time to zone out the members of DEWA and look for more structures even before the Lord is able to be taken down. That's feather airstrike, and that's damage over to Kin, forcing that recall.
I think Yeheskel was relying on getting a stun there. It seemed like the first kill did land onto Kin. If he was stunned there, that could have very well been a kill. But it matters not. Right now, with the almost 4K gold advantage, Team Liquid ID waiting for the Lord, waiting for the next moment to explode. And so far, Witty has been the big problem that DEWA couldn't solve, dude. They're trying to play around Aran, play around Joe, but Witty keeps coming in with a 3-man fist crack. They gotta solve that first.
For sure they do. But how do they solve it when, again, they don't really have a front line that can stop him from fist cracking in, right? Like, the Esmeralda's there. If he walks up, he gets pinned and he gets bursted down by Kabuki and Barca. Mueza, more of a follow-up type of deal. This isn't really the first one in, and even if he goes in, it's same problem. And the rest of the team, obviously. And it comes down to also Witty, how he's been able to utilize the Badang. He doesn't come in first. He's very late into the team fights. He conceals alone and finds flanks.
Feels like a kin in game number 2.
A Kin Badang.
A kin Madang.
Let's see. Lord already on the base turret now. Zaman Force used up by maybe, but the Feather Airstrike Drew. Oh no! Aran has the flicker, gets away, but it's a big waste of flicker there. He was pulled by the Lantern Flare into the base, and TLID will only be able to get a few hits on the base turret.
It's fortunate that before that sequence of events, Aran actually completed the Athena shield. 1v1 though.
Uh-oh. Aran taken low, Kin. That's an AOG. Aran is as good as dead with a taunt landing. No Witty! There with a Feather Airstrike, following it up. It's a kite back for Kabuki, and now Joe walks off. Witty gonna be taken down, but the Shadow Kill lands into the back. Over to Octa. Quad Shadow, back and forth. Witty ends up sacrificing his life so that Aran could live.
I think Aran was actually out there. Witty, they made the call before he realizes that Aran was out of danger already. Even if they were gonna take him out, they were gonna have to expend a couple more resources. But
yeah.
Team Liquid ID, when they get the chaotic fight like that without pre-planning, the layering didn't really come through. And your Heskiel was kind of not given space to actually output maximum amounts of damage with that ultimate. So, hey, that's an angle that DEWA can exploit again. Gold lead down to only 2k.
AOG didn't land either, right? In that,
No.
in that push. So technically, we didn't have to do that. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I think after it landed, unless Kin had the ultimate, then maybe. But even then, I feel like there were better ways of going about it. Conceal onto Witty and Joe, though. They won't risk anything with the Lords 14 seconds away.
As long as TLID are the ones to, you know, have it on their terms, usually we do see that team fights go according to their favor. But if DEWA are able to look for an angle of surprise that catches TLID off guard, I do see a way that TLID can come back from this, because technically, you know, Maybe's already with the Holy Crystal. He's on to his final item that is still on the way here in the 16th minute. And he's already dealing a lot of damage. So the pressure is definitely also on the shoulders of TLID, who have not been able to close this out despite their high ground control with Kabuki on Granger, with Yahaski on Farsa as well.
Bit of a dance going on here. The issue here is that Kin also isn't having a lot of gold. He's actually third from the bottom above the roamers. And on an Esmeralda, you need items to get the tankiness. It's not just the damage, man. The shielding requires you to have a decent amount of items too. That's why he's really not as efficient, and he's still top of the charts for damage when it comes to his team, actually.
Because I think he's focusing more on, what do you call? Cooldown reduction at this point, right?
We just completed a Brute Force here. So Enchanted Talisman, Oracle, and Brute Force. Look at this, whoa.
Kin is pinned down. The Feather Airstrike is landing, forcing him to flicker out. He's gonna have to recall, or actually has enough regen to get back to a pretty good amount of HP.
So he can spam the abilities like we're seeing right now, but he doesn't have the ability to hold the damage from TLID. But as long as he's not pinned down like this, it should be okay for Kin.
Yeah, Arana's beat it up. Zaman Force already jumping onto Ray, doing a whole lot of damage. Oh, comes in the clutch and steals the Lord away from what looked to be a DEWA take.
Aran being the sacrifice there, but it's absolutely worth it. Despite Kin's best efforts there, he was able to get a huge amount of shielding by trading, by weaving in between himself and Witty. But afterwards, that was a great retrieve by Joe. 3k gold lead. And Team Liquid ID have a measure of control here. Once again, they were on the back foot, but with some more items, this might get even closer and closer. So there's some urgency here for Team Liquid to end it before they will actually have a fighting chance.
So now what is the call for TL. Do they look for an opportunity here outside of the base? Do they wait for the Lord? Because it looks like DEWA are looking to rush this outside of the base, which is quite risky.
Maybe he's a monster already.
Joe?
Yeah, Joe has a good position, but there's no way he can burst anyone when they're grouped up like this, alone. He needs friends, or he needs DEWA to split up. That's what DEWA have already like changed in their game. They were split up a whole lot in the early game. Now they're just sticking together as much as possible. This should result in a base turret take. At least one.
Everything goes well. That sure should be the situation, but you mentioned it, Mirko. Maybe already at full items now, so there is damage. The only difference is in the front line quality here, and Ken ain't really there yet to be like the main front line. It's one turret down. They should be able to get one more, I assume, with all the ultimates still available.
They don't risk it.
Actually, they might be able to now that maybe it's actually cycled as a Mon Force. It's down. Still a whole fence though from DEWA. Falling star move over to Aran. Oh, he's going to be hurt. So down Joel jumps into the back line, able to find a shadow kill. Octa flickering out in time. Maybe dashing back and forth now, doing a whole lot of damage, but doesn't get the reset on the last chrono dash. That could have been a way to get an equal trade, but now it's Kin for nothing.
And they get an inhibitor turret.
Fortunately for DEWA, it's on the same side that the Lord is going to be at. Another move here from Team TLID though, empowered wave on the bottom.
Feather airstrike doing a whole lot of damage. The Mountain Shocker lands on Yehezkiel. Maybe has the Mon Force back up. Now he's not going to miss on the Quad Shadow. Winter Crown used. Buys Immortality. Joel gets a turret up there. Kabuki buys the Rose Gold. Aran in time to get it. Joel has to back away, and Ray goes for the Traceless forward. 3 base turrets. TLID with a win.
Both gold leaders are down, but I think Arashi mentioned it earlier on, right? They had the inhibitor turret on the top side of the maps, but now they also have the one at the bottom, which will allow TLID to have a little bit more of an advantage when it comes down to the next Lord take, which it looks like they're already setting up for. Yehezkiel already in position, opening up vision, giving information for the rest of the team to follow up, considering that Kabuki is also still down, not yet available to facilitate this next Lord take.
Well, without the main gold laners, this is where DEWA has a bit of an advantage. They have Ray as a secondary marksman, whereas for Team TLID, now they lose out on the spammable poke. The only long-range option they have right now is Yehezkiel. But again, that play on the base was just so good from Team TLID, because Joe was kind of deterring members of DEWA using the Quad Shadow, and then he kind of sneakily went for the bottom turret as well. Now it's back to a 5v5, but the wave is building up on the bottom. You're seeing Moeza maybe plot some kind of flank, some kind of engage here. They are the ones who have to do something dramatic here.
What's the call though? Everyone's in position. Oh, look at the Gatot Gacha. Moeza's in the back line.
Seal. Yes, he's getting read out. Wow, good reaction there. Witty able to go for the fist crack. Now with the feather airstrike coming down. Ray still able to kite back in the back line. Zol with the shadow kill. Winter Crown used by Ray. Octa able to flicker out of safety as Alon's going to be taken very low. Maybe still there to pick up the kill. Oh! And it ends with a DEWA United team fight win, 2-0.
But because of the lack of inhibitor turrets, those minions were crashing in favor of DEWA. So even now, this might be an opportunity for TLID to come back into the game. Ooh. Look for the objective. Only 3 members left.
Whoa. Flickers out of safety. The feather airstrike baited out. Oh, that's a big resource. That should give maybe all the space necessary now.
That's GG. TLID can't contest.
The zoning certainly from DEWA won't make it any easier. The fact that they lost 2 members, I think the death timers are way too long for some kind of contest there. So unfortunately for TLID, they got kind of baited there, because you need to look at the items. I mean, earlier Octa had a brute force breastplate, and now he has an immortal.
Yeah.
Right. So there's items like this that makes the backline members quite deceptively tanky. Maybe has an oracle, by the way, so more shielding. Right. And Ray earlier had the Winter Crown too. So there's a lot of like minor items here that's kind of throwing off the calculations from TLID. And that is what they were able to actually use to get Octa and Ray out with a sliver of HP.
Maybe has to use the Mon Force to clear out the wave. That's how powerful the minions are getting.
23 minutes and already that kind of minion issues happening. For DEWA, though, do they want to stick together with the Lord here and try to make something happen with the rotation? So far, they're just setting up for the pushes to kind of collide at the same time. They're taking it slow. They're letting the waves build up as much as possible here.
Whoa, brute force Octa. Did he sell those boots for that? I think he did, yeah. So more tenacity.
Yeah, so he rebought the brute force essentially.
Wait, I think he sold something else because he still has boots.
Oh yeah, he does.
There was something else he just sold there.
What did he sell?
Because the Immortal is still in his inventory, so this is a full-on utility. He does not care about damage any longer. That's not his responsibility at all.
I don't think he had the last item in yet.
Hold up, base turret taken out already. Yeah, Skill still holding on to the Feather Airstrike now as Aran is the one holding the Lord to move on to the mid lane. And just like you saw from the real-time victory rate, despite the Evolved Lord, we're at 50-50.
Oh, there it is. Things are getting even more heated. If DEWA are able to look for opportunities like that, catch TLID off guard, that's the win con that we've been talking about from that mid game, right? Moeza looking for that flank. Despite the skill being able to flicker out of that, that was already something that surprised them. And I think the rest of the members were very slow to kind of capitalize over that movement. And so they lost 2 members from that engage. I'm wondering if DEWA can look for something similar, if TLID will fall for the same thing once again.
I think the advantage DEWA have right here is the amount of disengage they have. Every single member on their team can kind of bail out of a fight. Whereas for TLID, once they're in, once they want to actually commit and start something, Aran and Weedy can't really escape, as well as Joe, Yeheskia, and Kabuki. And it's no coincidence, those are the 2 members that got taken out in the previous small skirmish. Oh, Kin!
Able to bait out Aran into a tough spot, forcing the flicker out, but they dealt with maybe Zaman Force. They will have to wait for it to be back up before they can go for an all-out again.
There's a wave on the top side, so they will be okay with that. They see Joe on the map. They might force something out here. Kin has his ultimate back up already, and there's a choke point right there.
Oh man, the wave is going to be crashing into the base. TLID want to go for the gamble. They have to go for it now. Zaman Force used up, maybe going to go for the commitment. There's Witty, won't be able to get it there in time. Joe unable to get close. 25 minutes in, that's a big, big Lord.
Yeah, he was too late. He was too late to get that retribution down, unfortunately. So this is yet another DEWA push. The minion in the top side finally has been dealt with. Earlier on, what he sold was the Winter Crown for Octa, by the way. That's what he traded. So he had the Brute Force, sold it for the Immortality, still had the Winter Crown, sold it for another, what's it called? Brute Force Breastplate, there you go.
Oh man, swaps are happening across the board here.
They're buying
everyone's gearing up for this final decisive fight. They don't want to draw this any longer than they need to. DEWA, though, they gotta manage the waves properly here. The Lord is already kind of left alone on the top side, but Team Liquid ID have no time to really take advantage of this spacing.
Look at the clear from TLID. Still really solid because they also have super minions spawning everywhere. So for DEWA, they're going to have to manage the mid and bot really well for them to crack open a base turret. Because TLID can always just hold the Lord, pull it to the base turrets remaining. Feather Airstrike already baited out, and look at the timing. The Lord is going to be marching into the base, and they're not able to hold it in time. AOG coming down, Octa decided to go for it. That's going to be Kin, jumping with the falling star mood. Kabuki caught on the top spot. Oh! Wide open for the taking, and DEWA, they do it! With an Evolved Lord.
KB was onto something.